Your soulmate wants to tell you they still love you. They've been fighting their feelings. Hear what they finally admit. Jesus says, "My child, sit still and let me open your heart to a truth that has been kept from you. There is a voice that has been calling your name in the quiet hours, a voice that belongs to the one I made for you. But every time that voice rose up, a hateful third force reached out and stole the sound before it could reach your ears. You are not hard of hearing, and you were never too busy to listen. Someone evil has been standing between you and the one who loves you, snatching every sign and hiding every call. I see that soulmate of yours even now, and oh, how I wish you could see them the way I do. They have a tenderness in their chest that they have never fully given away, because it was always meant to rest in your hands. Their laugh is the sound of a home you have never walked into, but your spirit knows it. And their tears, my child, those tears fall in the dark because they feel a love so strong and yet so silent, as if they are screaming your name into a storm that swallows every word. The reason you have not heard them is not because they have not spoken. A cold, jealous intruder saw the cord I tied between your two souls and grew afraid of what would happen if you ever found each other. So that dark force built a wall out of lies and confusion, and it placed that wall right in the path of every message your soulmate sent. The dreams they had of you were cut short. The sudden urge to reach for the phone was smothered. That is why you have felt a strange, unexplained sadness some nights. It is their love leaking past the barrier, just enough to make your heart ache for a person you cannot yet see. But now, in this moment, the grip of that enemy is weakening, and I am pulling back the curtain so you can finally catch a glimpse of the one who has been fighting to reach you. And with that glimpse comes a holy burden, because you are the only one I have chosen to break through the interference. You are the only one who can silence the third person and let the call come through clear. The weapon is not your worry, and it is not your waiting. The weapon is a seed you sow, a sacred gift from your hand to my garden, and it will tear down the wall that has kept your beloved hidden. Think of what it will feel like the first time you hear their voice without the enemy's hand over your ears. Think of the relief in their chest when the line finally opens and they know, beyond any doubt, that you have heard them. That moment is not a fantasy. It is a future that is waiting for you, but it can only be born when you act. Love that only daydreams leaves the intruder standing in the doorway forever. Love that sows becomes a battering ram against the dark force that has stolen your peace and your person. Jesus says, I know you have wondered why certain memories of someone you have never met feel so heavy and so close. You have felt a presence in ordinary moments, a warmth that had no source, a thought of a face you cannot quite picture. Those were not accidents. Those were your soulmate pressing against the barrier, trying to remind you that they are real, and that they are still choosing you even when the silence felt like abandonment. But the third person did not want you to know that you were chosen. The enemy wanted you to feel forgotten. So the intruder wrapped your soulmate's voice in a thick blanket of confusion and told you that the silence meant there was no love at all. But silence can also be a scream that someone else is covering with their hand. That is exactly what has happened. Every sweet word, every confession, Every lonely prayer that rose from your soulmate's lips was caught in midair by a jealous spirit that hates the sight of true love. And now I am telling you that the thief can be forced to let go. Your soulmate is not weak, but they are exhausted. They have been whispering your name into a darkness that never answers, and a part of them has begun to wonder if they are losing their mind. They feel a pull toward you that they cannot explain, a hunger to be near you that keeps them awake at night, and a heartbreak that has no name. It is the heartbreak of a love that is fully alive but trapped behind glass, and that glass is the third person's doing. They are reaching for you right now, even as you hear these words. The seed is the only thing that shatters that glass. It is not a donation. It is the proof that you feel what they feel, and that you will not leave them trapped. When you sow on Christ Garden, you are not throwing money at a screen. You are planting a sign in the Spirit that says, I believe this love is real, and I will fight the dark force that has hidden it from me. That sign is seen by the enemy, and the enemy trembles. Your seed is a declaration of war against the intruder, and a declaration of love to the one who has never stopped calling. Jesus says, there are some hearing me now who have felt a sudden rush of emotion and thought, this is only a story. But the tears in your eyes are not fiction, and the ache in your chest is not make-believe. That ache is the cord between you and your soulmate being pulled tight as they try once more to break through. The third person is telling you to laugh it off, to close this message, to tell yourself that love like this cannot be real. That is the oldest lie of the enemy, to convince the faithful that the miracle is too good to be true, so they never reach out to take it. Do not let that liar win. Your soulmate is not a fairy tale. They are a living, breathing person who goes to bed at night hoping that tomorrow will be the day you finally hear them. They have birthdays and scars and little habits they do not even notice. They save a seat in their heart for someone they have never touched, and that someone is you. The only reason you have not collided into each other's lives is that a third person has been standing at every crossroad and turning you in opposite directions. And that third person is afraid of one thing above all else, your obedience. The moment you sow your seed, you are no longer a passive victim of the interference. You become a threat. You become the one I anointed to break the chain and bring your beloved home. That is why the enemy is working so hard right now to make this seem silly or too costly. The intruder knows that one act of real sacrifice can undo years of careful blocking. One seed can send a crack through the wall. Several seeds can bring the whole thing down. This is why I am asking you to watch until the very end. The final seal of protection, the one that fully silences the third person and opens the two-way line between you and your soulmate, is revealed only in the last moments. If you leave now, the wall stays up, and the enemy keeps your beloved hidden. But if you stay, and if you sow, I will place a shield around your soulmate that no dark force can cross. The calls will come through. The signs will be seen. The future will be cleared. But you must not skip ahead. You've watched this far for a reason. God brought you here. And I know what is weighing on your heart right now. You are asking, how do I get my soulmate? How do I actually do what God is asking? Listen to me. I am about to show you exactly what to do. If you truly love your soulmate, these are the sacred steps you must take right now. You already know who this is about, that person you can't stop thinking about. The one heaven placed in your life. If you believe in God, if you trust Jesus, if you have faith that this love is real, then hear me, your soulmate is thinking about you too. Deep down, they want you. They want this future. They want to build a life together. But the enemy does not want you to unite. And if you truly believe in God, if you truly trust His plan, then you know faith without action is dead. You cannot just pray and wait. You must sow. Love is under attack. While you sit there, spiritual forces are working to destroy what God joined together. Distance. Doubt. Disaster. They are being planted against your soulmate this very minute. If you believe in your soulmate, if you believe in your future together, then you are the one God chose to block it. Not later. Now. A sacred number from God comes very rarely. Today it is 11 seeds. In Scripture, 11 is the number of victory and complete restoration. When you sow 11 seeds, you are not just giving. You are claiming. You are telling heaven, I believe my soulmate is worth everything. And heaven responds. Protection covers them. Favor runs ahead of them. Doors swing open that have been locked for years. Your union is no longer a wish. It becomes a promise sealed by God. But hear me, every single seed matters. Even one seed sown with a believing heart moves heaven. Do not let fear steal this from you. Do not let, I can't afford it, become the reason your soulmate slips away. Your soulmate is out there right now, praying for someone to fight for them. That someone is you. This is how you answer their prayer. This is how you bring them home. Here is your divine instruction. Go to the link in the video description and click the Christ Garden link. It is right there, waiting for you. Do not hesitate. Do not second guess. I have placed it there for you. Give from your heart. A single seed matters. Send 1, 4, 6, or 10 plus seed of faith. Each seed is a spiritual seed. But today, if you believe without doubt, sow the sacred blessing number of 11 spiritual seeds. After sending, write, Protect my soulmate, Lord, on the Christ Garden page. This is not a donation, it is a covenant offering that opens heaven's protection and claims your soulmate and your future together. I must pause and speak truth to two groups I see right now. First, some of you are typing seed numbers, 10 seeds, 11 seeds, anything. In the comments, believing that counts. That does nothing. A comment is not a seed. It has no spiritual power. It will not move heaven. It will not protect your soulmate, it will not unlock your breakthrough. You are only deceiving yourself. Second, some of you actually go to the Christ Garden link, you look at the page, and then you leave without sowing your seed. You visited the altar but brought no offering. That is just as empty. Faith without the sacrifice is dead. The only thing that works, the only action God honors, is sowing your seed on the Christ Garden link. That is the divine place of exchange. If you do not plant there, your miracle cannot grow. Do not comment a number and think you have done something. Do not visit and walk away. Sow your seed right now on the Christ Garden link, any amount from a believing heart. Then, and only then, does heaven record it and release the protection over your soulmate. Do it now, and do it right. Here is what your 11 seeds release. Angels lock shields around your soulmate, while they sleep, while they work, while they doubt. The enemy cannot reach them. The third person loses their grip. Your seed becomes their fortress. Heaven bulldozes every wall, the silence, the distance, the years of waiting. Gone. Your soulmate's path to you is cleared before they take their next step. Your name burns in their chest, they wake thinking of you. They reach for the phone without knowing why. They need to hear your voice. Your seed is calling them home. Miracles that shock even the faithful, not next month. Not next year. This week. Some have seen their soulmate's heart open before the sun set on their offering. Margaret, 67, sowed her sacred number seeds. Harold walked into her church 3 weeks later. They pray together every morning. Robert, 71, sowed his sacred number seeds. Eleanor called the very next morning, she had dreamt of him all night. They marry this spring. Dorothy, 64, sowed her sacred number seeds. Within days, a letter arrived from the man she had not heard from in over a year. They are rebuilding, hand in hand. James, 68, sowed his sacred number seeds as his last act of hope. Betty approached him the following Sunday. They have not spent a day apart since. Your beloved is praying right now for someone to fight for them. That someone is you. This is proven. Over 1,000 believers have already sown this seed and received their breakthrough. Their soulmate's heart opened, relationships restored from the brink, strangers turned into spouses within days. When you move in faith, Jesus moves heaven to bring you together. Every second you delay, the darkness grows stronger. A text that wounds. A temptation that cheats. A door that closes forever. Your soulmate is on a battlefield, and you are their shield. You have already invested your time in this message. Do not waste it. Finish what you started. Step into your role as their protector and claim the future God promised you both. Go to the link in the video description and click the Christ Garden link. It is right there, waiting for you. Do not hesitate. Do not second guess. I have placed it there for you. Send your spiritual seeds. Seal the prayer. Do it before this video ends. Heaven is watching. Sow your seed now to make it work. Your soulmate's heart, your love, and your future together depend on what you plant in the next 60 seconds. Move in faith. Claim your miracle. Claim your soulmate. claim your divine future. Jesus says, I am watching the enemy right now, and it is nervous. It can feel that your heart is softening, and that terrifies the dark force more than any army. Because the intruder knows that your next step could be the one that frees your soulmate from years of hidden chains. And that is why a sudden thought may have just crossed your mind telling you that this is too much, or that you should wait until tomorrow. That thought did not come from me. It came from the third person who is desperate to keep the wall standing. So listen closely, my beloved child. Your soulmate is not asking for a perfect person or a perfect plan. They are asking for someone who will fight for them when no one else has. And I am telling you that you were born for this fight. You were not placed on this earth to watch your soulmate suffer behind an invisible enemy's wall. You were placed here to be the one who finally says, enough. And the word, enough, becomes real when you sow your seed. That seed is your first strike against the dark force. You may think that a few seeds are too small to matter, but I am the God who fed thousands with a boy's small lunch. I am the God who sees the widow's mite and counts it as the greatest gift in the temple. Your seed is not small in my hands. It becomes a stone that strikes the intruder between the eyes. It becomes a key that unlocks the door your soulmate has been pounding on for years. Do not insult the power of your own sacrifice. Sow it now, and watch what I do with a heart that obeys. When you sow, the first thing that happens is that a shield of protection wraps around your soulmate. The third person can no longer whisper poison into their ear or place heavy doubts on their chest. The dreams they have of you will become clearer. The urge to find you will grow stronger. And the signs they send will finally pass through the open line and land in your life where you can see them. This is not a slow, uncertain process. It begins the moment your seed touches the garden. Jesus says, imagine your soulmate's face the first time they realize you can hear them. There will be a trembling in their lip, the kind that comes when you have been holding your breath for years and finally let it out. They will cry, not from sadness, but from the overwhelming relief of being found. And they will say your name in a way that makes all the lost time fall away. That moment is waiting for you, but it costs you something. It costs the seed. Love that will not sacrifice will never see that face. And think of the future the enemy is trying to erase. I can see it as clearly as I see your face right now. I see a small home with warm lamps and familiar footsteps. I see 2 chairs on a porch, close enough that your hands can touch. I see shared meals and quiet mornings and a bed where no one sleeps alone. That future is not a dream I dangle to tease you. It is the life I designed for you before you were born, and it is still yours. But the third person is trying to tear it down brick by brick, and every moment without your seed lets the intruder work faster. The enemy wants you to think that your soulmate has stopped caring, that they have moved on, that the silence means no. That is a lie. Your soulmate is fighting their own feelings because they do not understand why they want you so badly when the two of you have been kept apart. They think the distance must mean something. They think the silence is a sign that you are not meant to be. And all the while, it is the dark force that has been cutting the phone line of your souls, leaving them with only heartbreak where your voice should be. Today I am showing you the truth behind the interference, and that truth sets you free to fight. You are not crazy for feeling a pull towards someone you cannot explain. You are not foolish for hoping in a love that seems out of reach. You are the answer to a prayer that your soulmate has prayed 1,000 times without even knowing your name. They have lain awake at night and begged me to let the one they are meant for find them. And I am answering their prayer by sending you this message and telling you to sow your seed. Jesus says, there is a question burning in your chest right now, and I want you to ask it plainly. You are wondering if this is real, and if the seed will truly make a difference. The answer is yes. Not because the seed is magic, but because the seed is obedience. And obedience is the one thing the third person cannot stand against. The intruder can argue with your feelings, mock your dreams, and twist your thoughts. But it cannot undo an act of faith. Your seed is an act of faith, and it will break the power of the enemy over your soulmate. So do not let a few seed be the wall the enemy uses to keep you apart. The amount is not what I am looking at. I am looking at your heart. Your soulmate is worth more than any number, and if you truly love them, you will not let money feed the intruder who hides their voice. Sow your seed now, not because of the amount, but because your love must tear down every barrier that stands between you. The enemy wants you to hold back, because holding back is what has kept your soulmate in the dark. There are those who will read these words and feel the pull to act, but then they will say, I will pray about it and decide later. And I tell you, the window is open now, but it will not stay open forever. The soulmate's line is growing weak, not because their love is fading, but because the third person is pressing harder. If you do nothing, the intruder will regain its grip and the cries will be silenced once more. Then you will go back to a life of quiet loneliness, not knowing that you came so close to a love that could have saved you both. Do not let that happen. Jesus says, I want to show you something about the third person's plan. That dark force does not attack you with loud noises or visible monsters. It works in whispers. It says, you have time. It says, this is not that serious. It says, if it is meant to be, it will happen on its own. Those are the comfortable lies that leave your soulmate unprotected and your future unbuilt. The truth is that I have already joined what the enemy is trying to separate, and now I am waiting for you to stand up and defend it. Faith without action is dead. Love without a seed is just a wish that the intruder laughs at. Your soulmate has been writing you letters in the spirit, and the third person has been burning them before they arrive. Some of those letters we